Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again, and welcome back to Cards in Hand, the podcast all about the One Piece TCG, as well as a little sprinkle of the anime and manga, from time to time. Just all about some One Piece here. But we are back from Bandai Card Fest, and boy, do we have an episode for you guys. Holy smokes. We want to talk about the experience because we both had kind of unique experiences. This was the first nationals that I did not make it into the main event to start. I had to play from the LCQ and do the general entry rather than just already having a competitor badge and being ready to play in the event. But my man Drago up here was able to secure his invite before this event, so he has the perspective of playing from the main event as a competitor. So, yeah, we've got two perspectives, but we also have just a lot to talk about, both good and bad. And we definitely wanted to start with the good, just to kind of, start light on today's episode, just go over some of the things that we thought were really well done and, some of the nice aspects of it, but boy, is the rest of the episode going to be rough.
Yeah, there's a lot of negative to talk about, and we'll get there when we get there, but there's a lot of things that went wrong this weekend for everyone involved, really. And so, we'll get to that after we try to be a little bit more positive at the beginning.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'll say this, actually, out of curiosity, I didn't ask you this beforehand, but I personally was there from Thursday to Monday, and big shout out to my friend Holden, aka Flyest Raven. He was nice enough to let me crash with him for the weekend, and we had a great time hanging out. So big shout out to my man. He picked me up really early on Thursday, so I was able to play test and practice, get ready for the LCQ and all that good stuff. But how long were you there for this weekend?
Yeah, so we drove up after work on Thursday. So we got to Dallas, because from Austin, it's like a 3-hour drive. So we got to Dallas around at 9, because we left at 4, but stopped for food. Got to the Airbnb, met up with one of our friends' cousins who brought a lot of people from the Bay Area. So our Airbnb was 8 deep, 5 or 6 of them from the Bay, and then the 3 of us from Austin. And then we left Sunday. We didn't even bother going back to the venue Sunday. We got brunch and left, if that tells you anything. Literally the night before, we just had really good sushi. We went and got a couple seltzers, and we're like, okay, let's have a good time. And maybe we'll wake up and go to retail. And then as time passed, and it was still relatively early into the night, it's 10 o'clock at night, we're like, do we really want to try and do retail? We know it's going to be terrible. I'd rather just play the aftermarket price. I respect my time and life more than just waiting in line.
Yeah.
And so very quickly we're like, you know what? Let's just have a good time, play, drink, and hang out with everyone. If we wake up really early for some reason, then maybe we try.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Fun fact, we woke up early. We did not go. We naturally all woke up at 8, which is technically 30 minutes before opening, and we were 5 minutes away. And none of us were down to go and do the retail line. And we're already seeing posts. Some dude was there from 2 a.m. and was already got escorted away from the police because he was freaking out about people trying to cut the line. And we're like, yeah, let's just go get brunch and then go back to Austin.
Yeah,
That's what ended up happening.
Oh, that's funny, man. So yeah, I have a similar story, and I'll get to that shortly. But that's really funny that you ended up having kind of a similar experience to quite a few people that I know as far as Sunday is concerned. So that's pretty comical, honestly. But okay, so you pretty much stayed around the area more or less kind of the same amount of time as I did. It was a cheaper flight for me to fly home Monday, so I just stayed for an extra day and then flew out Monday morning. But actually end up Monday afternoon because of weather delays, but it is what it is. But to start the episode off with, some of the more positive notes, if you will, on, this weekend, I will say from the first ever national event, the first Bandai Card Fest that was with One Piece included. That was so understaffed. It was crazy. It felt like none of the side events were really working the way that they were meant to be working because there wasn't enough people to go and run the events. So they had to pull people from the main events and this, that, and the other. It was like a whole kind of nightmare as far as that was concerned. One thing I noticed in this event in particular was it felt like there was a ton of staff between judges and people working at, the different locations. There was a lot more. And I think that that's a step in the right direction. The bad part about that, as we were kind of talking, pre-recording this episode right now, is that because they had so much staff, I actually think that ended up being like a blessing but a curse in disguise, because they ended up having such a lack of communication because you're trying to get everybody on the same page, but you have so many more people working. So it was like this weird, like, is it a positive or was it a negative kind of thing? And, is there maybe like ways that they could have improved on that? But speaking from my experience solely, I can't speak for everybody that went to the event and how they were, how their experience went. I had nothing but nice things to say about the staff. All the judges and the staff were very helpful when they could be. And if they didn't know the answer, they would immediately go find someone that did, and they would go and ask that question to try and get me the information that I was looking for. And I would say, shout out to all the judges and staff that I met and saw. You guys were doing the best you could with what you were given, if I'm being honest. I feel like between a lot of the Bandai TCG Plus app problems and the thousands of people that were there, I mean, I can only imagine how stressful that must have been. So, big shout out to those guys. And I know some people had bad experiences. I'm strictly just speaking of my own experience. Obviously things didn't go the way I wanted to in some cases, but they at least tried. There was that sense of, hey, we're going to try and make this as good as possible with, the problems that we're having. And so shout out to them. Just wanted to start out with that. And then this was the most random thing that I ended up like jotting down from the weekend. The food was actually really good inside of the venue. Yeah.
It had like a Chick-fil-A and then a couple other things. Yeah. And like, I ended up never going through it, but like I kept seeing the Chick-fil-A and I'm like, that would hit right now.
Yeah.
Like round 5 just started. So like, I guess I can't get this. But like, that's a pretty big upgrade as opposed to like just really random convention food or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like it wasn't too hard to get water. Wasn't too hard to like eat in general, because they have a couple cafes outside that weren't like insane. And so yeah, the food situation was better than like most regionals or Bandai Card Fest, at least like in the venue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely better.
I was pleasantly surprised. Like there was a guy that was whipping up some he called them what was it called? He called them Texas steaks instead of Philly cheesesteaks. And man, I tell you what though, that was a very good Philly or very good Texas steak. So shout out to that guy. I mean that put me through the day. I was like, wow, that is delicious. Oh my God. But yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised to say that the choices were good. They had a bunch of drinks and everything. I did hear some an interesting take on the food, which I thought it was fair, but it doesn't go without some criticism, in my opinion. Is that somebody said, as far as the food spot, like that was basically wasted space. Like they could have used that for something else. And I'm like, I get it. I get that idea. However, I don't believe, at least for conventions like this, that you can just have these food stalls and stuff like that outside of the venue, like, or outside of the actual, convention hall itself.
Yeah.
Because it would probably be some form of like food code violation. Whereas you had that little cafe that was right outside, but that's literally part of the convention center, so they have those kinds of licenses and stuff like that. So I thought it was a fair criticism, but at the same time, like, I think you kind of have to look at it in reality. Like, it's not really possible for them to just go out on the side and be like, hey, everybody, leave through the metal detectors now and come out here, get your food, and then go back in, So I'm I thought the food was good though, so I was pretty happy about that. And talking about the metal detectors and whatnot, there were a few events in the past that never had any metal detectors, or it was just people looking through bags, and they were like barely looking through bags as is. They're just like, open the thing, okay, yeah, you're good, dude. Just and it's great because that helps me get in faster, but at the same time, it's peace of mind is nice when know that every entrance is covered by multiple staff, security checking bags and whatnot. Like, that made me feel nice and comfortable about all the stuff that has been going on in our world, and just having that kind of peace of mind was very nice.
For sure, it was a good thing. Like, it's like always like, oh yeah, it's annoying, like harder to get out, but like at the core, like, I'm fine with that, to feel a little bit more safe. And like, that's enough for me.
100%, man. And it's just like, we live in a crazy world, so you never know what's going on, and just having that peace of mind was really nice. So big shout out to, I don't know whether that was like a Play TCG organized security measure, or if that's just like specifically that venue provides that service or something like that. So I don't really know how far that goes, but it was very nice that was a part of it. And a couple of other things to talk about as far as like some of the nice things that happened at the venue. What is it? When the events fired, it seemed as though, at least in the One Piece side, when events fired, they ran smoothly. The key part of that though is when events fired. Because I don't think any single thing started on time. You did mention though that the main event was only about 50 minutes late from
no, it was less. I think so. I think from what I understand, the main event was supposed to start at 10:30.
Yep.
Maybe it was 10, which would make it like 50 minutes, but I think it was 10:30.
Gotcha.
And I think we started by like 10:50, 11.
That's awesome.
Which isn't too bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's, in my opinion, like, if the start time is 10, let's just say it's 10. I like fully expect that nothing will ever get started until minimum 10:30.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, and that means to me, I'm like, oh my god, we're cooking today. Like, this is good. Yeah. So, I will say that when events got going, it felt like everything went really well. Like LCQ, I had no problems. There were no repairings, no this, that, and the other. There's always like at the end of a round, like somebody didn't report, and they're like, hey, table 235. Report or get a double game loss. It's that's always a thing, but like, that's just on the players. That's not on the the organizers at all. So I mean, big shout out for running the events smoothly once they were going. But LCQ was a bit late, if I'm not mistaken. I believe the start time was also 10:30, and I don't think we got going till I think it was probably 11:30, but an hour wasn't that bad. I think it was like 11 or 11:30 or 11:45 or something like that. But it wasn't that bad. I think all in all, I was kind of like, all right, yeah, I'm okay with this. It didn't feel like we were sitting around waiting for like 3 hours, like in LA.
Yeah.
God, LA.
No, LA was bad.
Wasn't it like
it was like 3-4 hours?
I'm trying to remember. I want to say it was like a 9 o'clock start time or like an 8:30.
Yeah. It was like 9 or 8:30, and it didn't start till like 12:30.
Yeah. It's like 12:30 or something. I was like, what is going on? So that was insane. So I was very happy and pleased to say that that was a positive and something that has improved at least from previous events. And and then lastly, realistically, the big thing that I thought was the best, and it's always, in my opinion, there's never anything better than this at any of these events, is the people. Like, just the people coming out, everybody like coming together to, do something they enjoy and talk about it, trade cards, buy, sell, trade, just all that stuff, and just hanging out with friends, going to get food afterwards, getting some breakfast beforehand, just shooting the shit, and
Yeah.
man, I gotta say, like, I'm very blessed. Like, thank you to every single person that came up and said hello to me. That meant the world to me. Like, anybody that was, like, oh my God, I love the videos. And I was like, what videos? I haven't uploaded in forever. But, I had a lot of people that were like, I love the live streams. I'm always in there. It's charismatic. It's a good time. I had a few people actually tell me that they had really enjoyed the podcast, and they were actually talking. I had one person specifically mention you by name. I had, because, you're newer to
Yeah.
these recent episodes than in the past when it was FTC and I. And genuinely, shout out to that guy, just being like, dude, it's been awesome listening to you and Drago talk about, some of the meta and some of the, different topics. And, that was just, that was what made my weekend, was seeing some of the people.
Yeah, same here. I mean, being able to see a lot of the friends that I made like over the
Hmm.
past like year and a half for the first time, really, because I haven't really been to an offline since Peoria. Because I
Okay.
started a new job, got really busy, and so I had to not do Shreveport in Vegas, and I haven't even played in an online really. So it's really just been a bunch of locals for me since Peoria, which is all the way in April.
Yeah.
So being able to see a bunch of people, like Holden, like I hung out with Holden pretty much all of Friday during LCQ.
Nice.
Like obviously my twin, Elijah Quimby, my goat, like a bunch of like other people, Sam, they all know who they are. And then even just the people I came with and all the other Austin people, like the three places we went to eat were amazing. Like the times in
Same.
the Airbnb were good. Like even though we are waiting in line for a long time on Friday, like just with the few people that I was waiting with, like it was a good time
Yeah.
because we're just in each other's company, and so I can't really complain about like from my perspective, my experience was really good, but my experience is like really different from the general entry
Yeah.
because so LCQ day, it's like okay, my entire Airbnb was in LCQ. So I'm going to just go to the venue, check it, and then just sit there and play games or talk to people.
Hmm.
So I kind of just sat there all of Friday, waiting until LCQ finished, and two of my friends, well, four total from Austin, but two that I'm really close with, made it to main event. And so we're just waiting, and then we go and celebrate with them and get food. But for like 12 hours, basically, I'm just like sitting outside in the venue hall. But like that's fine. Like I expected that. They did that for me when I was in LCQ in Orlando. And then for last Dallas, I had my invites. It was like the same thing. I was just outside in the hall playing with a couple of the Austin people that already had their invites. And then Saturday, I'm in the main event. So I'm playing. I get in. The line is huge, but it's not that crazy. I get in. And then I'm just playing. And then I never went to the venue again. So I know retail was bad because I tried to do retail early before main event started. It
Yeah.
was never happening.
No.
And then
No.
aside from that, like my experience is so drastically different from other. Like some people from Austin were leaving at noon because of okay, at 8 a.m. we missed the first retail sign up. Whatever they're saying at 11:55 they're gonna put up more, so we're gonna try for that. It's the same shit show. It's like really bad. People shoving whatever. They couldn't get a slot. They were just like, dude, there's nothing to do. I'm leaving, and they went back to Austin. Like I know like three carpools that straight up just
Yeah.
went back to Austin at noon on day one.
That's
Like
crazy.
that
Yeah.
like that's really bad.
That's really bad. Yeah.
So like, I get why um everything is like negative because it is like a lot of this like even as a competitor, it is an objectively bad thing that I have zero shot of getting the retail stuff. Even if I just want one of the sleeves,
Yeah.
it's not happening.
Yeah.
I got really lucky that a friend of mine bought one of the folders that had like the six cards and
Hmm.
gave it to me.
Oh,
Or
that's nice.
and so like I got at least one, and then I've already been trading for the Conquerors, Hockeys, and Leos because I want them. Um, and so I had to get rid of like the Yamato that came in my folder just to be able to not pay an absurd amount on those. And so like yeah, the people were good, and like from the main event perspective, I don't think too many people have like that crazy of complaints. I mean, I really don't know what you'd complain about unless you got sharked or something.
Right,
But it
right.
ran pretty fast. The judges were good. The prizing handout was pretty fast too.
Nice.
Faster than before. Even though, so like they normally do this at most regionals. So like, okay, 33rd through 64 go
Right.
here,
Yep.
and then down the line. But these lines were like super close to each other, and it was still like actually kind of organized and went pretty fast. So like they improved there too.
Nice.
So like from the main event side, it wasn't too bad. But like the fact that I didn't even want to come Sunday because one, I knew retail wasn't gonna happen.
Yep.
But then basically, I saw that Saturday a bunch of side events either didn't happen or fired 3 hours late, 4 hours late.
Mm.
And then on top of that, okay, let's say I do get into a side event and it starts at 4, and it does start on time. 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
that's late.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's not, and that's fine. I'll play a side event. Let's do it. But there's nothing else to do. So I definitely understand why a lot of people in Austin just left because they had the privilege of just being able to drive
I was gonna
back
bring that
down,
up.
like you mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah, and like and for other people, like I know other people. I'm sure there's groups that said let's just go to Six Flags. I'm sure there's groups that said let's just go.
I didn't even think of that.
Go.
Oh,
Yeah, like so. I mean, and I'm not saying that like
missed
that's
opportunity.
necessarily a good thing either, right?
No, I
Like
know. Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
the people have to leave your event to go to something
Yeah.
like Six Flags or just go to like a museum in the city, that is not inherently a good thing.
Yeah.
But the city did offer other stuff to do if you wanted to just treat it more like a regular vacation.
Sure,
But
sure.
that's not why you came, right? You
Right.
came for Bandai Card Fest. You're trying to play card games, get side event tickets, whatever. See the game, which part of that is like there's no viewing area for the stream.
Dude.
The stream was random game, like, and we'll get into it more, right?
Yeah.
Like the stream is just another thing that they big fumbled. But like a lot of this, I don't think it's like the fault of play or any of the staff. I think part of it is just like what
Uh,
Bandai is giving them and like
yeah.
what they're expecting.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sure both parties have fault. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
Play didn't do everything perfect,
Yeah.
but it's not like Bandai was like giving them perfect resources either.
No,
Um,
100%.
especially if like their goal was like we need to show all the games on one single stream, and they're like, so you only get one single stream. I mean, that's probably a Bandai issue, not a Play issue.
Yeah.
And then the semantics of whose fault or whatever, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because like I like most of the people on the staff at both locations. Like the few people I've met from the Bandai team, because a lot of that Japan team comes. Like I've talked to the producer a couple of times, just in like passing, like, oh, thank you for helping bring the game to English, whatever. And then with the play staff and just like judges in general, like
Yeah.
most of the judges are pretty chill, the head judges especially. And so like I feel like they do try their best. Judges especially, I feel like generally speaking, really don't have like too much to blame. Like they're just
No.
doing their job.
Yeah, literally.
And so it really goes down to like the core upper ups of for both Bandai and Play,
Mhm.
and just figuring out like, okay, where do we allocate more budget? Where do we do we finally get 2 separate streams? 3, 4, like to me it's, I mean, we said it last time. I think there's 3 total One Piece games streamed.
Yep.
3
Yep.
for an event that had a 2,000 man LCQ and an 890 man main event that went 10 rounds in Swiss with a top 32 best of 3 top cut, and it had 3 total games streamed.
So
It's just insane.
Oh, it is. It is. And I wanted to harp on that for a second. I wanted to give like a little piece of information that I had being in the LCQ.
Mm-hmm.
So, only people that were in the LCQ were allowed to go into that space on Friday, right? And
Mm-hmm.
man, it's just like, it's so funny. I don't know if you remember from the LA Nationals, but there was like, you could look up there was like a floor map essentially that had all the tables for what card games and what areas and whatnot, right? Oh my gosh, I'm actually forgetting the name of the game now. The
Battle Spirits?
Battle Spirits Saga, bro. They had I think they had 4 tables, right? And One Piece had like 100, right? Those 4 tables for Battle Spirit Saga weren't even filled up, which is crazy. And this was again back in LA Nats, which was what 2023 or
Yeah, January 2023, I think.
yeah.
Or no, 2024, I
Yeah,
guess.
2024.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. And so I'm just sitting there like, okay, this is it. No, actually, I think it was like late 2023, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way. So basically, that was kind of ish what happened in the LCQ area. So there was a huge portion of it, the massive portion that had like 2,000 players for One Piece, on a side, right? And then off in the corner was like a little thing for Dragon Ball, and like a little thing for I think Union Arena, I think. And it was like there was like hardly any people. Dragon Ball actually, or no, maybe it was Digimon. I think that's what it was.
Mhm.
I think Dragon Ball didn't have a lot of people in the LCQ. It didn't look like that much, at least. And then Digimon, I think like it looked okay, but it wasn't. It was not. It was not One Piece, you know.
Yeah.
And so you have like, I mean, I I'm not the organizer. I've never been an administrator of an event this big or anything close, right? But if I'm the business that's making money off of this, and I'm taking a look at the 3 games that are in LCQ or whatnot, I mean, it's becoming pretty apparent what game should be given, a big priority, right? Because it is the game most people are looking for, most popular about, I mean, I was just blown away, right? That because of seeing that, and then going into the next day, that there wasn't, it just, I was disappointed. I was like, this can't be real with the stream, man. Like, and then the display area to try and watch any of it. I I genuinely am kind of curious, out of all the people that do attend Bandai Card Fest, like how many people are there that actually play all of these Bandai games? I would definitely assume there is a small, group of people that play all of them and enjoy all of the games and whatnot. But if I had to take a guess, I would imagine the vast majority of players are literally there for either one game or maybe two, at most. And so when you are looking for your favorite game, you're looking to see, what you came to watch and what you came to witness, and it's literally 3 games out of the maybe 9, maybe 9 that they streamed the whole weekend. It's like, wow, that was like a huge letdown. You had 9 rounds of LCQ. You had, how many did you guys play in the main event? Was it 9?
We played 10 and 10 in the main event.
Okay, you had 10 rounds of the main event. Then you have day 2 of the main event. I mean, we're talking about like you had arguably like probably close to 25 to 30 games that could have been live streamed for One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
So huge letdown on that. I understand that it's a lot of resources, that go into having multiple streams and everything. But we looked this up prior to starting this episode today, ladies and gentlemen, because we were genuinely curious. We were like, okay, what like, we know Bandai it's a very wealthy company, right? Very wealthy company. But I was like, how wealthy are we talking? Looked it up. Approximately $21.54 billion. Not with an M, with a B. Billion dollars. We're talking about almost $22 billion, right? I mean, I've heard rumors from, and I'm not going to name anybody here, but I've heard rumors as well as straight from the source kind of facts from people that work with some of the big head TOs and or work for them and whatnot. And and they have told me some of the allocation of funds that go into events like this and into smaller events like just regular offline regionals and treasure cups and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And it really makes me wonder if there's like genuinely just a lack of understanding from Bandai as to how to properly fund these events, or if there's just not enough of a care, because they're like, people are still going to buy the products either way, they're still going to play, it doesn't matter, like just put on a little thing and call it a day,
Yeah.
So that's my curiosity, because I've talked to people about this, and it is staggering to think about when you're thinking about renting the space, like basically the how much money. Well, I'm just throwing out like a random number here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just say hypothetically you were given, like, just to make it an easy number, $100,000, right? If you're given $100,000, you have to pay for the venue space. Sometimes you have to pay for internet that comes with the venue space. You have to pay for potentially extra services like having those security measures, like with the metal detectors and whatnot. You got to pay for staff, everybody, talent. So when you're talking, when I say talent, you're talking about like potentially the commentators. They're getting paid for their time and what they're doing, and it's just. It's a lot. It's a lot. So if you factor that in, with for this example, the $100,000 budget, it's like that's tight. That's tight for specifically $100,000. But if it's renting a space just like that alone,
It's
it's
expensive.
yeah,
The internet for some of the, like, I know, thanks to like the Smash Bros side and like being friends with a lot of the big TOs, especially within Texas. I mean, depending on the venue, like you're paying 10 grand to have good internet for that entire weekend,
bro.
or
For the
sometimes a
internet, yeah.
day. Yeah, for
If
the internet,
for the
just for the
venue,
internet.
yeah, the
For
venue
the
is
venue,
like
you're paying
30-40 grand,
50,
yeah.
like, yeah, like, and it scales, and it depends on how long it is. Like, I know in theory, like, so we were at the main convention center in Dallas, and when DreamHack was ran there, because there was one year I was part of the head staff to run Smash there for
Mm,
the fighting game side. Like, I'm fairly confident like they spent 50 grand more, maybe 100 grand on internet alone,
sheesh.
like the venue space, because they got the entire convention center and then some, for DreamHack. Like they're probably spending 100K, 150K, maybe more just on the space itself. And then you have tons of staff. Like, and so we're on like a smaller scale, but like, if like in the example, let's say Bandai does give you 100K for something like Bandai Car Fest, dude, that's like nothing. For a regular regional, it is something, but for like a 2 day regional, you're probably spending 40 on the venue. If you get really lucky, you're spending 10K on internet total for like the 2 3 days that you're there. So that's already half your budget, and that's like probably on the low side, to be quite honest. Then you have a staff of what, like 30 people
Yeah.
minimum,
It also
like, and
depends
like,
on where you do it, So
yeah, and
because
then
like
depends. That's why Peoria happens every time, because Peoria is probably really cheap to get
dirt
the
cheap.
main venue.
Yeah, dirt
Yeah.
cheap. And that's what like
And the
so the
city might even help because it's a smaller city and
yeah.
tourism, whatever.
Yeah, 100%. And like that was something that we had events here in Virginia, and it was crazy, like just based off of like talking to the TO that was handling stuff here. The price difference between having an event space at a convention in Hampton versus Virginia Beach. So Virginia Beach, for those of you that aren't super aware of the geography of Virginia, it's there's the southeastern part of Virginia is called Hampton Roads, and it's the 7 cities, right? And Hampton is about 40-ish minutes away from Virginia Beach, and it's just not it's not bad by any means. It's just not like as nice of like a tourist location comparatively to Virginia Beach. So the Virginia Beach Conference Center or Convention Center, excuse me, for price wise was like, I was asking them, I was like, so what was the difference? And they were like, it was massive. Like the difference between getting this space and then getting that space. Like, and you could tell though, the upgrade in quality of space, you were like, oh my God, like this is crazy.
Virginia Beach was nice this year.
Yeah.
I loved to go in there,
It
and
was a
that's
very
when like
nice.
I
Yeah.
met you more like formally in person. And
Yep.
yeah,
So that
and
was
that
that's
that
something where it's
matters
like it's
too.
location, location, location,
Yeah,
and I couldn't even imagine. We're not like a massive metropolitan well, I mean we're pretty big, but it's not like it's not Dallas,
yeah,
it's not Los Angeles. Like those places you're talking about, like I can imagine getting renting a space there is got to be extortionate, whereas what I thought renting a space here in Virginia Beach was extortionate, and I'm like, oh, never mind, dude. We're actually probably on the better half of costs. So, um, yeah, but that's getting back to the main point of what I was getting at. I don't want to say that the full blame is to be on Play TCG for mismanaging like funds and whatnot, but like at the same time, like, I think it is kind of like what you were mentioning. There's two hands, there's two sides to this, and one hand might feed and one hand might take, but it's like you both have to work together. You have to it's got to be properly funded, and then when it's properly funded, are the funds going to the right stuff, the
places.
correct places? We need to do better. Because genuinely, I think this was easily, without a doubt, the worst event that I've been to that they've hosted. And I think that that's a lot to do with mismanagement, but I also think that it's got a lot to do with like this massive lack of communication and understanding. Like you have thousands of people coming out. I know that's not easy. I'm not saying that this should be an easy job. I will say though that you have done it so many times now that you got to figure it out at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess like at the end of the day, personally speaking, I think that for me, and this is weird because like I think that I'm a streamer. I'm a big advocate for streaming and streaming events like this. But I think that I can understand that the streaming could be put on the lower totem pole of like importance, if you will, or priority list. Because at the end of the day, probably the most important things should be the guest experience of the players and people attending the event. But if you're just sitting from the comfort of your home, obviously we still want you to be a part of the event in some way, shape, or form. But it's just, man, it was so bad. It really was. Yeah, I think that Play TCG has got to get it figured out as far as like how they do this. And there's a couple of things that you and I wanted to talk about, on today's episode, as far as like some of the really big notable problems that we had thought about or had brought up to us or just experienced ourselves. And I think that one of the things that I kind of want to hit on first, because in my opinion, I feel like it's one of the biggest attractions as to why people come to these events, are promos as well as the retail. I think that's, if you're not competing, that as a general entry, just attending the event, that is what you're coming for. You're coming for that, and you're coming for like attractions and stuff. Like One Piece Day, I'll say this. One Piece Day, they crushed it with how much stuff there was to go and see, to go look at. They had the one hall that was like, hey, this is just for like competitors and people that are playing right now. And then we have another hall that's like, go and see and do a bunch of stuff that's really cool and be a part of that. And I was like kind of blown away with how much stuff they had. I was like, wow, this is actually really neat. They crushed it out here. I was like, this is just a lot of stuff to interact and go and grab pictures, to sit down and read a manga, to go and check out some of the Gundam, figurines and all the stuff. It was cool. It was really cool. I enjoyed it. But you had nothing like that. Nothing like that out at this Dallas event. It was, dude, I thought about it when I was going back through, and I was like, what was there to look at? And I kid you not, bro. The only thing I could think of was there was this random, like probably 4 foot by 2.5 feet, like poster that was on an easel that had PRBO2 cards that are coming out for English. That was it.
Yeah, that's not
That
pretty
was it.
appealing. Yeah.
There were like drapes hanging from the top that said One Piece card game, and I'm like, oh, cool, love that, I guess. But that was it. There was like nothing else.
Yeah, there was nothing to look at, nothing to do, not many tables to like just be able to sit down and at least just play the games that are
Yeah.
offered there. Like,
Yeah, they had a players lounge
there's
that
so
had
much.
Yeah, I think the players lounge had like I think it was like 40 tables, 30 tables, something like that. And
Yeah,
and you're thinking about it like, "Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad, right?" Yeah, for an event that has like 3 to 5,000 players attending.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's not great. But like I understand the constraint of like, hey, well, we're only have so much space. Well, get more space. Like Bandai, you got to fund these. You got to fund these better. We need like every room in that convention center basically. No, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it was such a letdown, man. I felt like when you going back to what you said earlier with like, yeah, we just left Sunday. It's so convenient that you guys could just drive home, right?
Yep.
I was stuck there, but I didn't even attend the event on Sunday. Just like you said, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to get the retail line, so there's no point, right? I saw, shout out to my boy Vampire Gaming. Vampire Gaming posted a picture at like 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday.
Yeah.
Of like the insane line.
Line is out the door at 6 o'clock in the morning. People were lining up since like 2 a.m., midnight, 1 a.m. It's like, yeah, I'm not about to do that,
bro. Like, and here's my thing. And I'm not trying to knock y'all's hustle, but like, you're insane if you're waiting in line to get one box, because that's really all you were allowed to do is get like, I think it was like 2 boxes, but they couldn't be 2 of the same or something like that. It was like you could get like 1 box of something, 1 box of another thing, and then like one of the extra accessories or small items, kind of like the 6-card little binder, whatever. I could be wrong though. I wasn't in the retail line, but that's how it's been in the past. But yeah, it was just like, dude, if you're waiting that long, like why? I'm sorry, I get it. Like you want to get it at MSRP, but man, it's just very similar to what you said. I value my time. I'm not going to wait for hours and hours and hours to get something that's just not worth it,
Yeah,
and that's possibly going to be sold out by the time I get up there.
Yeah, that's the worst part too. Is like even if you do commit to waiting, it's like, oh, the folders are gone, or PRB's gone, or EB's gone, or O5's gone. It's like, well, I guess I'll take 12 that I can get right now with no issue.
You could get it cheaper than what they were selling it for. The OP12 they're probably selling it for MSRP, which I think is like 10. It's like 108,
109 at least.
Yeah, it's like 108 or 109 or something like that.
But you can find it for like 90 right now.
You can buy it for 90. I'm like, what are we waiting in line for? But I get it. Like there's boxes like PRB that's stupid expensive. You got EB as well. Whether it's EBO1, EBO2, very expensive box. If you can get that at MSRP, I understand. Is it worth saving $100? I mean, maybe, I guess. I don't know. I guess, what's funny is since there was nothing else to do, I guess maybe that was the play. Just wait. Yeah. Just wait around as long as possible because that's the only thing there is to do at the event, which is just sad, So I kind of wanted to talk about some solutions, though. Like, what are some things that they could do to make the retail line better? Because they have not figured it out over the 5 events that they've done so far. What was it, 4 or 5? Mm-hmm. I think it's like 5.
4 or 5, something like that.
So my first thought, right, was something I was thinking of, is that you have an app, bro, you have an app that literally will tell you how many people are attending your event. And then you think to yourself, like any smart person would, and you go, okay, there's going to be more than this. So now let's plan about how do we do the retail. They like sold out of a bunch of stuff and like ran out of stuff, as well as the promos. They ran out of the promos of people just attending the event. Like, that's crazy. So my thing is like, why not just do pre-orders of some sort? Like, just do pre-orders. Like,
they did it for the first Nats too.
They did. They had the. You know what's funny is I actually think I have them right here. The where is it? Yes, I have the sleeves. These were the sleeves from the first Nats. You could pre-order these, I believe, on Premium Bandai, and you were given the link to this by being in
the event.
In the event, or was it just like a general entry or something? I don't remember.
I think if in general you were in the event, so whether you got into the actual event or you were part of the general entry that also had to do it through the app.
Yeah.
You got sent that link, and you can buy the commemorative items. You weren't able to pre-order like boxes.
Right.
They did have.
Right. Yeah.
But you're able to pre-order the commemorative stuff, like the sleeves, the little folder they had, whatever. And then, like, so I think, generally speaking, that's probably the best way moving forward. Because, like, you make, like, everyone can get one. You already have that hard limit. You're already printing a bunch. Like, these are all printed. Like, we know all the Bandai stuff is printed because it's, like, the only thing that we get that we don't have to wait. Typically, like we do with the other folders, like the premium collection folders or the second and first anniversary stuff.
Yep.
This stuff is all ready to pick up and buy once the event happens.
Yeah.
And they obviously already have some. They might be printing more, but they have some ready for Vegas, ready for the Europe event that happens in a couple months. You know, Australia's BCF, whatever. Like all these places, they already have the binders ready. And that's the thing too. So like for the first Nats, we got that binder. They put it up online really fast, but because that was the only Nats of the season. Last season, they eventually put up that leader binder, that 6-card leader binder, but I believe they didn't do it until after Orlando, which was like a month after that, which was after every single BCF that was qualifying for Worlds happened.
Yeah.
Sure, you might still have to wait for that, but like any confirmation like, hey, this is for sure coming online after Vegas or something, or whatever, after the February BCF, if they want to not say Vegas, would help, because not as many people would go crazy, be like, you know what, I guess I'll just wait. But like, I really I think the pre-order is probably the best way to do it, because they're not going to expand the amount of staff and like room they give retail. Because realistically, they'd have to double or triple the amount of room and staff that they're doing, which includes potentially like tripling how much product they have on hand too. And realistically, that's not going to happen. And we probably don't want, like, let's say they do give us more funds or more resources. I mean, retail does matter, but I think more people would want better running side events that are on time.
Yeah.
More space and tables to just free play. More stream, like almost anything else. Realistically, I think would be better for the event. Even though retail is important, and like, yeah, I'd be super happy if I was able to very easily get a PRB box. For MSRP, even if it is cut open, like they do. I much rather have a good stream or have side events fire on time and have more of them and have more space for them, have more free play tables so that anyone can sit down and play.
Yeah.
Have more food options, just because, you know, like that is important to an event. Just all these things, to me, as a competitor and someone that like rather have my time spent like doing anything but wait in line, even if it isn't as bad of a line.
Yep.
But like, yeah, realistically, those are probably the two best solutions. Pre-orders for commemorative stuff only, and then you have a separate line to just pick that up. Or you just increase like the manpower behind it by a lot. But at that point, it's like, well, if we have to double or triple how much people are working retail or how big that retail side is that worth the investment?
Right.
That's something they got to decide and figure out too.
No, 100%. And this was something that I wanted to bring up as well, was, you know, again, you have an app, right? And this app is not amazing, but I will say, for the most part, it works fine. I would say for the most part, I haven't had any bad experiences. I mean, this weekend they had a big problem with the app being down because of obviously the ungodly amount of people that were using it and trying to use it. And that put a big strain on running the side events, but whatever. I just think that if you can, if you, there's a solution in here. There really is. And I know one of them is you got the barcode, right? It's a little blurry, but you got the barcode here. So that's something that can easily be done, right? Is before the event, well before the event, right? Everybody is sent a message that says, okay, if you're attending this event, this is your time slot for retail, right? You're just given a time slot. You're not even, like sucks to suck. If you can't make it, you can apply for a different one and we'll let you know if that works. But realistically, we're just going to give you a time slot, right? And then you come up, you scan your code and you go, boom, okay, you're here for your time slot. Love it. Let's do let's do these items, and then they hook you up and you're good to go. That way nobody's like rushing through, waiting in line at 2 a.m. or something like that just to try and get into something. That was just something that there's obviously some logistics that probably go into that maybe make it more difficult than what I'm bringing on. But I'm just trying to give, like, there's gotta be a solution, bro. There's gotta be something. And it's funny because I was thinking about this on the flight home, I was like, man, I'm not like angry about, how poor I think this event was at all. I'm not angry about it. I don't think, like, it's a free event, I'm not, obviously I paid for the travel and everything, but like I still got to hang out with friends. I had a good time regardless. I went and ate some great food. I can't complain, but what I was, instead of angry, is just disappointed, Yeah. It's just disappointment, if I'm being honest with you. This event in particular, it made me, as a huge fan of this game, I love this game. I love this community. It made me kind of have almost like a come to Jesus moment where I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to attend an event in the future if I don't have my invite. I really don't think I'm going to. Like, it just felt like I was just flying out there to hang out with, friends, and we didn't need to do that at Bandai Card Fest. So we could have done that anywhere else. And I don't know. It's just, that was the big thing for me. And, that's why we wanted to start this episode out with some, like, the good, like, lighthearted positives and stuff. Because now we're getting to the point where it was like, man, this event kind of sucked. And it was very sad. But, I mean, the retail thing we were talking about, there was a big problem there. There was a big problem with the promos. They ran out day one. Crazy. I don't know if they ever got some day two because I didn't go. But they ran out, which is pretty insane. The QR codes for the retail line was apparently leaked by a staff member, and then that got spread around, so all the slots were filled up before literally anybody was even in the event, which was insane. And then what was the other thing? There was something else. Oh, yeah. They tried to redo it at 12 o'clock. And when they tried to redo it, there was so many people crowding over there that there's literally this hilarious photo. I don't know who posted it, but I remember a couple of guys like retweeted it or, posted the photo themselves, like Orange Samurai, Vampire. I saw a couple of people posting it. It was this photo of everybody with their phones up.
It just please,
just trying to zoom in on the QR code. Like, it was madness. The fact that people were trying to get into the retail line and trying to get this QR code that was being put up, and there was somebody in the back just holding up the QR code. Like what? Yeah. What are we doing? This is so stupid. Like, I don't know. It was that was crazy. Some of the other things I put on there were the side events. The side events was a complete disaster. I'm glad that the main events and stuff went off on time, but side events had times at 11 a.m., 1:30, and 4.
4? Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the problem. The 11 a.m. ones, right? The LCQ people were given priority for those because the night prior there was like a message that was sent out to all the people that participated in the LCQ that was like, if you want to sign up for the side events, here are the links, and do your thing, sign up for them, pay for them and everything, right? You would get your own Tixer thing. We showed up at 11 a.m. They're like, oh, Tixer's having a problem. Bandai TCG Plus is having a problem. 11 o'clock events aren't firing. Come up, wait in this line. We're going to get you we're going to refund your ticket, and then we're going to get you signed up for the 1:30, so you'll guaranteed be in the 1:30. I was like, all right, whatever. It sucks, but it is what it is. I guess I'll just walk around and, do nothing for a little bit. And so I get in this line, we wait, we get it all figured out. They're like, okay, perfect. You're in the 1:30. You're good to go. I walk out of the line. I kid you not. Somebody else that was in the line told me later that this happened. 10 minutes later, I'm gone. Like, I'm hanging out with some friends. We're sitting down. We're just playing some games and whatnot. 10 minutes later, they end up going, okay, anybody that's in line that was part of the 11 o'clock events, we've figured it out. We can run some events now. Just go into the event space. Like, they just said this, like, shouted it, basically. There was no announcement. There was no messages on the Bandai TCG Plus. Nothing. Just literally, if you were there, you got lucky enough, and then you got into events. So there was a bunch of people that go into events. I come back at 1:30, and I'm like seeing all these events going on. I'm like, did I miss something? Like, see, like a bunch of stuff going on over here. They're like, oh yeah, they ended up getting the 11 o'clocks going, and I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, why? Like, I didn't get a pairing notification. I didn't get a message. I got nothing. Like, you're telling me that if I had just waited in line 10 minutes longer or just stuck around for no reason, I'd have been able to play? Like, that's insane. So then I show up for the 1:30. The thing that they were scanning people into, it wasn't an official pod. So they were trying to figure it out, and it took an hour for them to figure out that they had, like, this random 64-man event that was supposed to be a 32-man event. And they just paired it and said, hopefully people show up. There was like 20 people that show up for this 64-man thing that they scanned that we paid $20 for. Right? It was at 2:30. I think people had just left at that point. Some people probably didn't even get a refund for these events. Right? So I show up. Nobody has a round one, basically. Everybody just gets like nothing. I'm like, dude, what is going on, man? And so I just leave. I just get my participation stuff and I just leave. I'm like, all right, I'm done. This is ridiculous. And I end up going to get some food. But like the side events were a disaster. Shout out to anybody that was able to get their hands on tickets because that was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I know you didn't do the side events. You said the main event was fine and everything. But yeah, another thing that I had on here was, the bathrooms, man.
Yeah, the bathroom situation was rough.
It was rough, dude. It was rough. I don't think that's a them problem as much as it is maybe a venue problem, but it was not okay. And the LCQ was even worse because there wasn't as much space as they had for the day one, right? Mm-hmm. The LCQ on Friday, there was one bathroom, bro. One. And it was just like all the guys in the line just trying to get their lives together, essentially. And like there was like stuff had broken in the bathroom, which was making it take longer. It was awful. Like, oh my God, I don't know if I'll ever get that smell out of my Jesus Christ. It was awful. Yeah. And there was just no close bathrooms to the well, actually, that's not true. There was one that was like close if you went outside of the venue, down the escalator. There was like one right around there, but it just was. It was not a good situation. Yeah. Not well done.
Yeah, it was. It was tough, but like Hopefully, all we can do hope that it gets better. I guess.
Yeah.
I'm going to Vegas. I have my invite. A lot of friends are going regardless, just because they know at least in Vegas they can do Vegas stuff.
Hmm.
And
True.
so,
True.
and then
True.
like Orlando last year was actually pretty solid overall, as far as I know. Like in on most fronts, if not close to all of them.
Yeah.
And so like maybe there's a world that they're holding everything for Vegas. Who knows? But like I guess we'll get there in February when that happens.
Yeah. Um, this was another thing I wanted to bring up was um okay, yeah, this was an announcement on Sunday morning. Like the official Bandai Card Games English Twitter
Oh
page.
yeah.
Um, this was this was when Holden and I were like, yeah, we're not going out there on Sunday, and we ended up going and watching football with Majin. Shout out to my boy Majin and all the homies that were at the Airbnb. We we went over there and watched some football. That was good. But yeah, they make this announcement right on Sunday that this was like just the nail in the coffin for the weekend.
Yeah.
That to me was like, I am so happy I did not go on Sunday. Was all these people waiting in line and whatnot. They make this announcement and say important event update. Due to current crowd management concerns and to ensure everyone's safety, entry to the event will be limited to the below players until further notice. Championship Top Cut, Union Arena Offline Regional, Dragon Ball Super Card Games Fusion World Offline Regional, and One Piece Card Games Pirate League. All other attendees will be asked to wait until the situation has calmed. We apologize for any inconvenience and appreciate your understanding as we prioritize a safe and enjoyable experience for all. Stay tuned for updates. And I'm like, man, I mean, I wonder if there was, I imagine there was probably like something going on in the, like in the line, where there was maybe like an argument or like a fight broke out or something like that, or people arguing with staff or something, yelling.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that could have happened. I truly don't know what made them make that announcement, but it's bad when
Yeah.
people are literally just trying to get in there for the retail line. Yeah, and like that was another thing that just a small little tidbit, but like this kind of bothered me. If I hope this guy's listening to this, and I hope he knows he's just a piece of shit. There was guys that were literally just going up to the retail line, getting the thing, and then they were just walking around the venue holding it up like this, just like waiting for somebody to come up and be like, how much, and trying to sell it and whatnot. I mean, I was like, dude, this is what it is? Like, we got scalpers just going to the front of the line,
Yeah.
getting it to make a quick buck. Like, it's just sad, bro. It's just sad. Yeah, I don't know. It was disappointing. And it's crazy. Like, I can even tell in the tone of my voice how disappointed I
Yeah.
am. I'm like, man, I don't want to talk poorly about, these events because I love this card game, and I think we've had good events in the past, but this
Yeah.
this one was not it.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. That's what's tough too, is because like, how do you convince people to be like, oh no, you should give events a try when like they see all the backlash for this.
Yeah,
And like, what I would say to that is one, regular regionals typically do not run this bad. They're like
that's true.
way cleaner experiences.
Yep.
Especially like recently, I haven't heard of a bad regional in a while.
Mm.
And maybe it's just because I haven't been locked in, but like Peoria was great, Virginia Beach was great. From what I heard of Vegas and Shreveport, or Shreveport had a couple issues, but I heard Vegas was great. Like, so I'm hearing all these things are like good. Most regionals are really good. You're there, you're in, you're playing.
Mm.
Side events are like actually firing because they're easier to manage. And so like I think if you're ever scared of like going to a big event, I mean I understand that fear for sure, but I would say do a regular regional first if it's possible, like if it's in your area or if it's a affordable trip. Because you're like, yeah, I'll go to, I don't know, Pasadena in December because
Yeah.
California's nice, whatever. And so like, don't let this be the biggest reason you like don't try to do something, like in terms of going to events.
Yeah.
But I definitely understand like why it's wary and why, and if you do choose to be like I guess in theory have a backup plan or understand that this could happen or these logistical issues could happen. But otherwise, like I think for BCF, it's like one of those like maybe wait and see for the future. But like also the next one's in Vegas, and like we mentioned earlier, like yeah, technically you're there for Vegas is Vegas, and so there's so much you can do
Yeah.
in Vegas. Like even if you're not a gambler or anything, like there's a lot to do in Vegas. So
Yeah.
like that one, there's even a little bit more like people that love the game are also like I love the game. I regardless of if the event is perfect or not, I want to go do Vegas stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I will be doing Vegas activities in Vegas.
Oh,
But
can I give a suggestion of something to do in Vegas? It's actually not
yes,
very expensive, and it's literally one of the coolest things I've ever done.
please.
I don't remember the name of the company, but you can look it up. There are nighttime helicopter flights that you can take
That
over the
sounds
strip.
so cool.
Dude, it was like my wife and I did it for like 70 a person. Dude, one of the coolest things I've ever done, bro. You're like 15 minutes in the air, just like going over the nightlife, like all the lights on all the buildings, seeing downtown, like the strip and everything. Dude, it is so cool. Like I
Yeah.
highly recommend if anybody goes to Vegas to preemptively book that as a thing, because it was hands down the best money we spent in Vegas doing that helicopter ride. Sorry, just wanted to throw that out
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
And so like that's the thing too. It's like yeah, maybe let's say it's a little bit better, but it's not perfect. But like you're in Vegas and like
yeah,
so and again, like I know like you're there for the game, but like if let's say you have your invite, okay, you go and you don't make day two, like I did, I bubbled out. Okay, well, I have Sunday in Vegas. Like there's so many things that you can do, like um and yeah, like I just try go like don't let this be the reason you don't go to a big event, whether it's a
right.
national, regional. Um and then, and if you never want to do a big event, that's fine. Locals are even better. Like they're even cleaner. Most people are cool. Like so, like it's not the end of the world, but I have faith that eventually things will get better. And I guess we'll just see as like time progresses
Yeah,
how Vegas goes and how the Europe ones go and how Worlds goes. I guess too. Even though I've heard the Worlds experience, generally speaking, has been pretty good too. So
yeah,
yeah, we'll just get there when we get there. I guess.
for sure. And kind of continuing on something you just said, was like hopefully it'll get better, right? Is this idea. I just want to start like say that out of all of the events, I genuinely think this was just the worst. Like it was better in to some degree at other events, but they also did make some improvements in this event. So now if we can just kind of make those two worlds collide, where we had stuff to do and, not a great retail thing going on, but decent enough, and collide more staff with, the smoothness of the events. Not, I mean that by the smoothness of the events that we're running, right? Not,
Yeah, yeah.
not every event like just launching out of nowhere, but you know what I mean. I think that specifically, if we can get those two worlds to collide, I mean, we're in for something super successful and an incredible event that I'm looking forward to in the future. Um, you know, I don't, but as far as like the improvement stuff, I don't know, like, I don't know. I like I said, I don't know how big of a priority this is. Like the stream, this is what I really want to get to, is the stream. I can understand if it's not high on the priority list, but man, let me just like there's so many simple solutions for this, and it's actually aggravating. Um, Basically, you don't even have to live stream games with commentators. You don't. You
You
don't
don't.
have to. So what you could do for so many of these games, like if, for example, you have the vast majority of people want to watch One Piece, right? You have a live stream that's dedicated to just One Piece. You know what you could do that would be so simple, disgustingly simple, right? For games like Dragon Ball or Why am I forgetting the name of it now? Digimon or Union Arena or something like that. Just have two tables. Have two tables playing, right? Record their matches. You can play the recordings on a live stream. It's so simple. It's so simple. That's it. Boom, done. That's it. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to have a commentator. Dude, I'd be fine with it if that was even just one piece. No commentary? Yeah. Sure, whatever. As long as I get a round from table 1 every single round, I'm fine with it. You know, I would take that over the garbage that we've had so far.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is just like, hey, you get 1, maybe 2 games out of the day 1 stuff, and then you get this random time slot in day 2 where it's literally only semifinals and finals. I'm like, dude, I want to see people fighting for this national championship. But instead, we've got 2 games randomly, and it's just like, all right, that was cool, I guess. Watch.
Yeah, you have like no context of what's happening in the event. Right?
I'm like, I don't know what this guy's played up against. Not that you're going to get that for every player, but like you can get it builds a story when you have more of the games and stuff going on.
Yeah.
So just have either a side stream that has these recordings playing or something like that, or dude, you could even do something so like it's stupid, but it's like so simple. It's kind of like Red Zone, for the NFL, where you literally just have like a stream that has the main broadcasted game going on, and then you have another stream that just has 4 different cameras of like One Piece, Dragon Ball, Digimon, Union Arena. Boom, you've got a round of each of these being played, and whenever one of them's not being played, in that corner you literally just have the logo of the game.
Yeah.
Boom. Done.
That easy.
Like it's that easy, dude. It's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And the crazy thing is, like, you might be listening to this and going, Luffy, why do you care about the live stream? You were at the event. Bro, there wasn't even any place to sit and watch the.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to see a single thing from Top Cut.
Like, there was a spot that they had as their stadium. Dude, it wasn't even a stadium. It was like 30 chairs. It was like 30 or 50 chairs and like a TV. I was like, bro, what?
Yeah.
I flew out here to sit on a chair and watch a TV. I could have done this from home. Like this is so stupid. I don't know. It was I don't know. It was just bad.
Quite the event.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. I'm just again, just the disappointment. I don't even think I have anything else to like complain about. I think I'm just done. I'm just like done complaining. It was just a bad event.
Yeah, it was. And like what I want to say before, because I want to talk a little bit about the results before we end off.
Yeah.
But I would say like use the surveys that they have in the app.
Yes.
Like the survey system. Like I know it doesn't feel like they would listen. They 100%. I know for a fact
they do. Yep.
They actually look at these surveys.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you're not being like insultive and like using all this like language that like, come on, you can be like harsh about an event without like cursing at.
Yeah. So I'm just
gonna use that survey thing.
There's a little survey. You can go in your past history, and then there's a little survey button that you can click on the event, and you can fill that out. Funny enough, I haven't filled it out yet. I need to.
Yeah. It's like I recommend like to do that because they 100% listen. And like we got to get the word out. Like, hey, we need this to be better.
Yeah.
For the game to continue growing.
Yeah. Oh, and that was so. Oh, I actually don't know why I forgot to bring this up. That was actually something you and I discussed prior to the event, or prior to the recording. Dude, these Bandai Card Fests every single time are free events. I love it. I love it. That's great. Dude, just charge me money at this point.
Just charge me money.
Just charge me money.
Please take my money.
Take my money.
Better.
Make it better. Please, for the love of God.
Please.
You could even just charge, like, dude, because if they're like, oh, well, we can't afford to pay that much staff and whatnot, you can make the retail line as long as an entire wall if you wanted to, if you just charged everybody like $5. like $5, $10. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, I
You'd have
shoot.
so much more money for the budget.
I'd pay 25, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's just nuts. Like, but I would only pay 25 if I'm getting something good.
A better experience.
If I'm getting a better experience. So if it's not going to be that, then keep it $0 and let it just be crap whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But you're probably going to lose a lot of people coming out to these events if that's the case.
Yep.
So I think personally, make it better, charge a little bit of money if that's really what we have to do. And I don't know, man. Just do better. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, this is one of the more somber episodes, if I'm keeping it real with you. I think it's a bit of a shame, but but the thing is that we're gonna keep it real with you guys. We're gonna tell you how we feel about it. You know, if it's a great event, like I've been to great events, I've had great times at events. Sure, these events have had their problems, but all in all, there's just been, there's times where I'm like, wow, they crushed it. They did a really good job here, and I'll always talk about that. I'm not gonna sit here and prop up something that nobody
It was not good.
Nobody was happy with. The only thing that people were happy with was probably getting to meet people, maybe getting to meet creators, getting to experience maybe an event like that for the first time. And if that was your first one, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
But did you have anything you want to leave off on?
Yeah, so I just want to talk like very briefly about like the top cut.
Okay.
I feel like by the time we get to the next episode, we'll probably already be like talking about PRB and what's changed and all that, because that comes out essentially next Friday.
Yeah,
we probably
that is so
funny
funny.
For another week or two.
I didn't even think about talking about like how the actual results of.
Yeah, because the event was so like, I mean, yeah, it was bad, and so, but like I feel like to end it off, just talk about the results a little bit.
Yeah.
And so Richard Yams, the Toronto legend, I think he's Toronto. If anything, he's Canadian for sure.
Canadian for sure. Yep.
Like he's played a lot. Like he's been playing Red Zoro. He did a lot of like cooking, and so he won the event with Green Zoro.
Yep.
We saw Rayleigh in second, and then Austin Yost with UP in third.
Yeah.
Who I actually lost to round 7 of Swiss.
Oof. Damn.
He sacked the hell out of me. I can't lie. I looked at his list after. I'm like, oh, only 2 Zoro Juro. And he hit it turn 1 or turn 2 going first.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then he triple ramped on me. His first 10-don turn, Dofi Rosie. I'm like, oh, okay, so that pass. His next turn, which is like his second 10-don turn, Sanji Mihawk. I'm like, oh, you have bow. And you saw bow.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was Nami, hold on up, Nami, hold on up, Nami, hold on up, saw quad giant. I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, how do I win?
Yeah.
I can't win. My first life was a ramp trigger too. I was feeling good. Didn't have God Thread to potentially kill the Zoro Juro. If I had God Thread
game was over.
on the spot.
Yeah.
Because I'm at 5 Dawn early.
Yep.
Don't have it. I'm like, oh, it's fine. I ramped early. He won't have triple. He had triple ramp.
Oh,
and he
man.
just, but I'm really happy for him because like he's been putting in the work.
Dude, he's such a good guy too. He's awesome.
And so like, so we know the 2 that go to Worlds are Richard Yam and I believe the Rayleigh.
Yeah,
guy
Aaron.
named Aaron.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we know those 2 are going to Worlds, so congrats to them.
Yeah.
And then just in general, because cool, they did good, but I think the top cut spread is just very interesting.
It is.
And so
it
I just wanted
honestly
to
is.
talk about it. So like me playing, because I bubbled out at 40th, but almost everywhere around me, I would see like 1 Rayleigh, and they would typically lose that round. And then there was a bunch of UP. So I think I'm very curious to see if Eggman ever gets the full details, because I think even though there was 5 UP in Top Cut, I think UP probably converted terribly. It felt like 40% of the room was UP.
Yeah.
And like it still did good. It got third. Like it was a good deck. Like I'm not proud. I went 8-2 and bubbled out, right?
Right.
But conversion percent wise, it was probably terrible. So we had 7 Rayleigh, 6 Zoro, 5 Bonnie and 5 UP, 4 GP, and then 5 one-ofs, which was Katakuri, Anel, Yamato, Bello Betty, and Smoker.
Yep.
And so shout out to both Long and Jimmy for getting top 8 with Yamato and Katakuri respectively. I never thought those decks were bad, but if you told me they would get top 8, I'd probably they would top cut, but they probably eventually lose. And so they got top 8 and they were really close. Like I know Jimmy lost 2-1 to Yost. So that's close.
Yeah.
And then like Diz was the one Bello Betty. At one point he was like 7-0 in Swiss.
Ooh.
So like it was a good call to take Betty. Um, and I'm like everyone just put in work. Like the one Anel was some dude who was saying aggro Anel, and then list I'm like, this is just an Anel list.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but like he did good. And it was good. And like I saw a bunch of different leaders like doing well. Like I played a blue yellow Nami round one, and I was seeing a couple late. And so like I just wanted to bring this up just because I think overall OP12 ended up being like a really good meta for us.
Yeah.
And I think it just gets better with PRB in 2 weeks, and that's when like all the online stuff starts again. And so I'm really excited to go there. And we'll deep dive on the next episode. But I figured we should probably talk a little bit about
No, 100%.
what topped and like who won and all that.
I think my brain was just so like I was just so just wanting to vent, about how this weekend went. And I gotta say I do apologize to the listeners because we definitely probably should have talked about this a little bit sooner, and that's really my fault because I was like, oh yeah, let's talk about this, that, and I literally wasn't even considering going over some of the placements. But again, like you said, I mean, a huge congratulations to Richard and Aaron for being our national representatives from this event. I think it'll be great to see some new faces. I mean, no offense to my boy Clyde TCG. We've had him, we've had him on here. Jackson is an amazing player, amazing guy. Would have him on here anytime. But, it is good to see, some new faces up there and, people that will be representing us as well.
Yeah.
So I really like to see that. And then Yost, man. Yost is the GOAT. I do feel bad that he kind of bubbled out from getting his invite, which really sucks. But at the same time, like Yost is,
he got a prize card.
He got a prize card. That man.
He's good.
Yep. Oh, whoops. I think your camera might be going out there for a second. But I think it's slowly coming back. It might just be bandwidth. I don't know if it's on my end or yours, but
I see it on mine, but I don't. Well, it's okay. We're towards the end anyway.
Yeah. Oh shoot, it's frozen. It's like completely frozen. Slideshow. But hey, you know what? Like you said, it was towards the end, but just a big shout out to all the players that did really well. I mean, big shout out to you, man. Getting 40th place. 40th is like that is no like easy feat. You really did accomplish something pretty crazy there, man. And I have not placed anywhere near that yet for a national event. So I'm on the grind to hopefully get in there myself in the near future.
Hey, Vegas, you and I are going to Worlds. That'd be a great timeline.
That would be insane. Imagine.
That would be such a good timeline.
Dude, that would be the most insane podcast episode ever. I mean,
like, we're both going to Worlds.
Yeah, first I have to make day 2. Okay, I haven't figured that one out yet. So, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving us a listen today. I hope you enjoyed, and if you didn't, because we were just talking about our frustrations, just know that that's one of the episodes we're gonna have here today. Not every episode is gonna be the same. We like to keep it, really about like what's most, relevant to the current climate of the community, of the game, of what's happening, events, all that good stuff, upcoming cards, products, all that good stuff. I think that we'll definitely be discussing some OP13 and end of OP12 ideas in the next episode. PRBO2 being right around the corner as well. So some pretty good stuff overall. But ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you as always. And whether you're on YouTube or Spotify, thank you so much for giving us a listen. Would appreciate if you drop a like or share it with a friend, all that good stuff. And until the next time, hope you have a great one. Peace.